good morning, and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner on Friday, the 18th of July. Not been the most exciting of weeks for news, but we'll try and finish it off with a flurry. And actually, I was watching the England-Sweden match last night, the Lionesses. Quite a crazy match, obviously, with the penalty shootout, and nobody seemed to be able to score a goal. It sort of reminded me of the Camel Panthera bid for New World Resources. No one can quite score, and you don't know until who's going to win it right till the end, Paul. But
Yes,
anyway, maybe that's just my warped sense of humour at 11 o'clock at night when watching a football match that I'm thinking about mining bids. But there you go. Let's move on to news flow. There's a few of our corporate clients have got a bit of news out. First of all, just run through Panthera. It's nothing to do with their litigation case, but they do have a few little exploration assets which they're not spending a lot of money on, but they do it just to keep the license, and hopefully one day they'll also be able to farm it out or get somebody to buy it off them or something like that. But anyway, Paul, they've done a bit of drilling on their Bedo project, haven't they?
yes, that the Beto project is a small-scale drilling project. They now have the drill turning there in Burkina Faso. It's about a 1,700-meter program that they plan there of several holes, and it's enough work that they can maintain the licenses there. But they do have some reservation in Burkina Faso with the government security, I guess. There as far as fiscal terms is concerned. So they're not going to be too aggressive on it, but just make sure they meet all the requirements they have.
That's right. I think the next thing coming out of Panthera probably is after the summer. They're going to be doing quite a lot of marketing in the US. They've already done a bit, actually. We see in the afternoon the price ticking up. I think they'll do a lot more in the autumn, and that could get the price moving along quite nicely. Moving on to a TSX stock, Midnight Sun, which is a fantastic copper play down in Zambia. They've just announced some phase one IP results, haven't they, Paul?
Yes, this is geophysical results they have on the Dumbwa target of their Solwezi project there in Zambia. This was 11 and a half meters of strike length. IP survey that they've tested down on the in the southern end of what was their copper soils and geochemical anomaly, and the IP results coming up very nice looking as far as confirmation of there is clear geologic and host formation. A reason for these anomalies, or at least it appears to be from how the geophysical results have been interpreted, excuse me, and as a result, then it indicates the folding of the particular formation unit, which is hosting copper mineralization fairly well according to the modeling. So they'll definitely want to be testing these survey lines with some new drill holes in order to see just how much copper might be there in the bedrock.
Yeah. Okay. Not such good news coming out of Atlantic Lithium, is it?
Atlantic Lithium, there, that particular situation, the mines minister stood before a Ghanaian parliament yesterday and essentially flagged up in specific case to Atlantic Lithium's Ewoya project, lithium spodumene project there on the coast or near the coast in Ghana, that they would want to see in negotiations for final parliamentary approval that there is some kind of an assurances that Atlantic can give as far as job security for Ghanaians to be offered as far as the development and operating program for Ewoya. Atlantic Lithium had approached the government before in order to see whether or not they could get some concessions on the terms that were agreed with the issue of the mining license itself back at the end of 2023. But lithium prices are now quite a lot lower than now than they were then. So it sounds like there's some negotiating period that needs to be taken at this point in order to get this over the line with the parliament.
Yeah, I mean, the low lithium prices, and I think they're going to remain low for some time, is of course causing a lot of issues with a lot of lithium companies because it's very difficult if you haven't got some sort of massive resource with very high grade to actually be economical down this price. You almost need to just put your mine on hold, don't you, really, Paul?
Yes, that's right. You just have to grin and bear it, I think, because it is part of the ebb and flow of commodity prices, volatility, not just in lithium, but any other kind of metal commodities as well. And if you're going to be an investor in these companies and in these commodities, you got to be of tougher nerve, I guess.
You certainly do. Maybe also worth finishing on a slightly high note, actually. But Altyn Gold has had some half H1 operations update, haven't they? But I mean, these guys who have struggled for quite a few years are absolutely throwing off cash like I don't know what at the moment, Paul.
Well, they ought to be with this Sekisovskoye mine there in Kazakhstan. It's the first half operating results that they released here. The mine, it's nice to see the mining volume is well up to take advantage of these higher gold prices, 35% year on year growth to 450,000 tons mined. And the total gold pour rose by 44% to just over 28,000 ounces. From what it was a year ago at just 17,500 ounces. And the gold grade held steady as well at just over 2 grams with a recovery rate at the mill of just shy of 85%, which was the same in the first quarter. So all of these numbers would suggest they will meet their full year production target of at least 50,000 ounces. And as a result of the much higher gold price, expect much better revenue numbers when the finances come out.
Yeah, all going well. I did have a word with Idar, the CEO, the other day. I was trying to get hold of him in London, but tricky man to get hold of. But there you go. Anything else, Paul?
Just to say that the VSA client EQ Resources, their EGM, the shareholders did approve the share dilution issue of shares to Oak Tree Capital for the Mount Carbine expansion.
I don't think that was ever in doubt, really. I have to say, I mean, it's a shame in a way that EQ are on the ASX. In my view, this looks so cheap, certainly in comparison to Tungsten West. They've got 2 producing mines. And yet the market cap really is struggling to get going. It's a very well-run company as well, so we do like EQ. Anyway, right, we'll call it a day there, Paul. Everybody enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back Monday morning. Thank you very much.
Very good. See you then.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.